Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and this is a scene for Empire of Thorns, a Transient Lost game set in New York City. Um, Claudio Donati was fortunate enough to meet up with Miss Iris Wecht yesterday and found the beginnings to a very interesting friendship. Um, Sat back, had some stab apple pie and hot chocolate, went on a little bit of a shopping trip. Both of them are very at home with goblins and in the goblin market with Hobbs, and both of them are artists. Him not literally, but her literally. Um, so she expressed some things involving cooking, and he did as well. And so he told her he'd teach her to bake a cake. Um, so he invited her to the freehold. Um, the freehold, the seat of the summer court itself, or the spring court, is not something one can just walk into if they're not a member of the court, especially right now that security is a little bit higher. So he has to meet her outside. So Iris will see Donati walk up.
Hello.
Hello. Um, Claudia today is wearing clothing a little less formal than she's seen him. The last couple times she's seen him, he's either been in a business suit or like a long sleeve shirt and slacks. Today he's wearing a pair of very neat dark blue jeans with that kind of perfect amount of distressing, a pair of black boots, and a long sleeve thermal shirt in black. Uh, he's got his pea coat on over it because it is cold and they're outside.
Mhm.
But once he, ushers her in and brings her in, he shrugs it off and hangs it by the door. There's a long coat rack for many different coats for the court, and he'll shrug it off and put it on. He'll
How have
offer
you?
to hang her coat as well if she'd like.
She'll hand over um, a rather thick hoodie.
Mhm.
Um,
Um, he'll hang it under his actually because it's a hoodie and he doesn't want, it's not that he doesn't trust his own court members, but yeah, he'll hang it under his own.
okay. Um, yeah, and she'll just ask. So, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling better. I've been getting quite a bit of rest over the last few days, and my shoulder is still aching a lot and kind of stiff. But in this winter, this weather coming in is he'll shake his head like, yeah. But I've been doing well. I saw Dr. Morgan. Um, he got me set up and got it packed and healing in the right direction as much as mortal medicine could help. So the fortunate thing is that the bullet didn't go so deep. It dug itself in once it hit, but it kind of, not to get too gory, but it kind of went sideways and less in, if you feel me.
That makes sense.
But he'll kind of tuck his hands into his pocket and kind of walk with her. You'll notice that when he walked through, especially the younger or like kind of more, when you're among a large group of people, how you have kind of the people who are like very conscious of their presence and they're trying to like kind of be like fit in, no, look cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's quite a few of that because the spring court is pretty large and a lot of them are new, and you'll notice that the ones who are kind of like, oh, look cool, when they see him coming are like, oh god, and they'll kind of either kind of give him like head nods or just kind of like watch him pass, like looking at him go the entire field, you know, like head sweeping left to right. Um,
Yeah, if the people that are paying a lot of attention, Iris will give them a slightly awkward wave.
mhm. So he'll it's between his presence, the gentrified bearing, and his position.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, but she'll give them a slightly awkward wave because, yeah.
her she her there are a couple of members of the court who just her whole from top to bottom look is just fascinating them. It's like pretty. The polychromatic just walked into the spring court and they are like, oh my gosh. A couple will even dare like kind of move closer and like try to kind of like squeak, look, bounce.
Especially as her hair is now all prettily braided because
Yes,
our fairy person.
yes, the fairy person has braided her hair so on point. It's oh my god. And but Claudio, he'll give a couple of people like polite smiles, and you notice that he does try to. He can't acknowledge every single person that's watching him walk past.
Mm-hmm.
But you do notice that he does. Okay, for the higher up members of the court, without question, obviously he'll address them if they see him or they acknowledge out. You're saying they're higher members of the court. But he actually does try to with the younger members of the court or the lesser kind of members of the court. You know what I'm saying? The Joyos and the things like that.
Mm-hmm.
She does notice that he does try to like, kind of stop every once in a while and kind of you'll see him ask, oh, how's your cold doing? Are you feeling better? Do you need anything? He'll ask somebody how the recital went at one point. He really does try to kind of cover the spectrum. It just seems as though the higher court members can be a little more demanding of his attention.
Yeah.
So he'll kind of walk through, and the court is pretty big. You can tell there's a points where this is probably like the freehold for Belvedere Castle, in that part of it is in the hedge.
Yeah.
So you're not going that deep into it, but you're going to the kitchens, and the kitchens are pretty much like any church meeting hall kind of large area kitchen. There's two stoves.
Also, the kitchen is always near the important places without being in the important places.
Exactly. That's
The
the other
important places are where the food is usually done.
Yeah, exactly. You do notice that the kitchen is off from essentially the banquet hall of the freehold. And there's a prep area and there's a kitchen. This freehold holds so many parties. It's like so they have a very thriving kitchen.
Yeah.
You'd notice there are actually there's food being brought in, but that food is being brought in to be prepared in a few days, so that's not quite in.
Johnny, you kind of went silent there. Is your connection about to drop or something? Do 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 do. Johnny? Sorry, everybody, for the technical difficulties. the meantime, please remember, when you are preparing for this festive season, Christmas carols before December are horribly annoying. Also, all the service people are very stressed out by huge numbers of people, and a lot of them don't always work there. So please be patient. Also, think carefully when making your gifts. A teddy bear is for life and not just for Christmas. Eggs always taste better in cakes and not in nog. Have hot chocolate instead. My Bonnie lies over the ocean. My Bonnie lies over the sea. My Bonnie lies over the ocean. So bring back my Bonnie to me. Bring back, go bring back my Johnny to me, to me. Bring back, oh bring back my Johnny to me. Ah. There was a time when men were kind, and their voices were soft, and their words inviting. There was a time it all went wrong. Yep, I got bored, so I started singing.
Sorry, darling. There's it's the window can't show it, but it's storming here.
I did some Christmas announcements, then I sang, and then you arrived back.
I'm sorry about that, guys. Loyal viewers and all. We have the best commercials in this game, I swear to God. Okay, where did you lose me?
You were talking about the kitchens and they're bringing in extra food.
They're basically bringing in extra food. He takes her to a place where there's like one of the counter islands, and there's a couple of different things set on the counter. There's the ingredients are kind of laid out. There's the instructions, the recipe, basically written out in his handwriting, which she remembers from the note he sent her. All of the stuff they'll need to make the cake, the measuring cups, the pans, all that stuff. And he'll ask her. He'll say, "Do you want a snack or a drink while we do this?"
Some fruit juice would be nice.
He'll nod and he'll kind of open up kind of a more like it almost kind of comes across as a house fridge. You can kind of see like some stuff in there, a couple of little snacks, a couple of little things. He'll pull out like a goblin fruit. It's been like kind of diced and stuff, and he's like, he turns his head and wrinkles his nose like, oh, I told him not to put these in here. Oh God. And he'll kind of put it over on one of the other counters. The smell hits her, and it's a mixture of Durin and something worse. He'll kind of like pinch his nose with a smile on his face.
And I take it there's a bunch of mixing bowls?
There are.
Is there a spare mixing bowl?
There is.
Invert the mixing bowl over the top of the fruit.
Yeah. He's like, oh, thank you. Best part is it tastes amazing. It's ambrosial in nature, but the smell, oh God. I don't know why they do this to us. There's this ogre who just delights in doing that.
Have you considered putting it inside pastry?
No, I can't. I requires stomaching the smell long enough. And once it cooks, once it heats to about 150 degrees, it's fine. I guess the proteins and the scent denature, and it stops smelling like everything was put into a gym sock and left to bake. But his eyes are watering a little bit because he got like right under it.
Mm-hmm.
He'll kind of fish through the thing again, and he'll pull out a bottle of fruit juice. Pour them both glasses. He'll grab some like snacking nuts type thing,
Mm-hmm.
And he'll grab 2 of the aprons off of hooks.
Oh, I brought one.
Oh, you did?
And she'll reach in her bag and pull out her new apron.
He'll smile at it, and he's like, oh, that's very beautiful.
Thank you. And she'll put her apron on.
He'll put on like a dark green apron, kind of slip it on, and he'll kind of go over and he'll say, okay, with this recipe, you want to mix you want to combine well, first we want to turn the oven on to 350. So he'll kind of reach over and hit it onto 350. He'll turn the dial till it gets there. And he'll say, I don't like using spray for the pans, because I just think that I don't know, just something about butter and flour seems more flavorful,
She nods.
So he'll pick up the butter stick and kind of unwrap the end of it.
And she'll take a piece of the kitchen towel, smudge some butter off the end of the stick, and start rubbing it into the pan. Getting in all the nooks and crannies with the buttery piece of kitchen towel.
Bowl, and he'll say, let's do the wet ingredients first. And he'll pull over the milk, eggs, and vanilla. So your character is free to put any of those ingredients into the bowl.
Okay. So she'll kind of start measuring the milk out.
He'll crack the eggs. She'll notice that he cracks them on the wood itself of the island and not the edge of the bowl. He'll explain he does that because he really thinks that when you crack it on the edge of the bowl, it makes flakes that get into it. But so he'll break those in there while you get the eggs in. Measure out the extract. He'll put the whisk in and kind of slide the bowl over to her.
And she'll probably prod at it for not very effectively for the first minute or so, and then get the hang of it, and it will suddenly go fluff. Because yes, she's got ridiculous crafts, but she's never done this before, so she'll prod it a bit and then get it right.
He's kind of leaning against the thing on his elbows, and he'll kind of smile at her when she gets it. And he'll take another bowl, and he'll kind of open up the canister of flour and start kind of
You may be experiencing technical difficulties again.
Me or you?
Oh, okay. Sorry, you went very quiet.
It's okay.
You opened the flour and were sort of.
Yeah, he'll open the flour up, and he'll kind of nudge the cornstarch at her.
And she'll measure out some cornstarch.
There's the recipe in the thing, by the way.
Okay.
So he'll start working on the spices as well. Like there's enough for them to split. Who gets what spice, but we'll kind of start working on that part. And
when it comes to the spices, rather than measure them, she just kind of sprinkles some in.
Mm-hmm.
Because half a teaspoon of nutmeg is about 2 hefty sprinkles.
Yeah, exactly. He'll smile at her. She's getting it about right, eyeballing it, so he kind of doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to correct her for the sake of correcting her. He'll measure out the dark brown sugar and kind of add that in, and he'll grab a dry ingredients whisk, and he'll whisk that part. He'll kind of whisk it up, and he'll tell her to kind of he'll tell her to he'll tell her to help him to add. I'll ask her to help him add the butter, the dry ingredients while he's making them, basically, like while he's mixing it.
Yep. So she'll just kind of splob the butter in a little at a time.
Yeah. He's trying to keep it to that pebble-like consistency, so he's basically kind of like paying razor attention to it for a moment with a soft smile on his face.
Yeah.
He's like, I swear this is like diffusing a bomb. He's like, no, red wire.
Oh, and he's probably too busy concentrating on that to attempt an empathy roll.
So he'll kind of get it right to that pebble stage, kind of scrape the bottom, make sure, like put his hands back as though this thing's about to blow up, and then he'll let out an exaggerated breath. Good, you did it. Okay, good. He'll kind of hold his hand up for a high five.
Be a giggle. There probably will be a giggle from Iris as well as me.
He'll hold his hand up for a high five.
Yep, high five.
And then he'll say, okay, we gotta add the milk in the milk mix in 2 stages. So this is such a finicky recipe. I never noticed how finicky this is.
Do you want me to mix it?
Sure. One of us has to pour, though. I mean, I normally, do it myself, but I mean, I guess you can take a go at it. He'll kind of like lean with his elbows on the thing again and kind of pick up his juice.
Mm-hmm. And she will take a go at it, and presumably it will go relatively well.
If she even begins to like even look like she's airing, he'll basically be like, no, oh, yes, you're good.
Yeah, it takes her like 2 seconds to get the hang of this because she's already got the hang of the whisking earlier.
Honestly, I did CPR on somebody once. It was less stressful.
Yeah.
So,
and yeah, she's just gonna beat this. She's just gonna beat this cake mix.
So once it's all incorporated and all that good stuff, he'll kind of blow the floured cake pan to make sure that there's no real heavy deposits of flour anyplace, and he'll get her to pour while he spatulas, and he'll get it all nice and in there, and he'll kind of open up the oven for her to put it in. What kind of a glaze should we put on top of it? Once it's in there, he'll set the timer for 40 minutes.
She'll shrug. An orange version of a lemon drizzle cake.
He'll kind of hit the fridge and then the counter to see if they have any oranges. And he'll kind of, while he's in the fridge, deep, he barks out like a playful yelp and jerk his head back, and he's like, there was two in there. Oh no, oh no, no. No, oh, I'm going to put out a decree. I'm going to go to the king over this.
Yeah, she's going to because presumably there's a bunch of flour lying around. She's going to casually put her hand kind of in the flour, and then she's just going to pat him on the back sympathetically on his black shirt.
He'll kind of get that look on his face like, really? Oh, really? He'll kind of turn around and he'll put, like, staring her in the face, but playfully, not like hard. He'll kind of like put his hand in the flour,
yeah,
and like boop the tip of her nose. Oh, that Tasselberry should be illegal. Oh, that's not even insane. The fruits of the devil.
Like I said, pastry. Maybe you could make like mince pies out of them.
The only thing that's being minced is my sense of smell right now. We'll kind of pull it out, the second plate, which has gone putrid, and he's like, "Oh no, that's against the Geneva Convention." There are treaties written on stuff like this. He like looks at the plate, trying to genuinely decide if it could be saved, as the acids that are in this fruit have begun to etch away at the enamel. He'll kind of like put it on the counter. kind of figure it out.
There's more than
Huh?
one oven, right?
Well, there's 2 tasselberries. One is extremely
No.
putrid and non-rancid. Oh, what? Yes, there's more than one oven. Yes.
Yeah, she's going to put one of the ovens on because he said if it got cooked, it stopped being horrible.
Yes.
So she's going to put one of these ovens on and put the plate in the oven.
He's got the very tip to his shirt over his nose. It really does. I mean, it's. I'm not making you make a composure roll, but dear Lord, I should.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I just.
Yeah, she just put the whole plate in the oven.
Here's what happens. For about a moment, it's as though you released a chemical bomb in the kitchen. And it hits suddenly, too. That's the best part. You're going to have to make me a composure roll now.
Mm-hmm. Straight composure?
Yes. Well, willpower. I guess willpower works. Resolve composure. Willpower. I'll make it 2.
Okay.
Down a die for the sheer putridness of this.
Okay, so that would have lost the 7.
Yeah, but you have a 10, so.
Yep. Because the 7 was the last one I rolled with my willpower. And then the 9 is the reroll.
So you can blow it up. You got that 10 to blow up.
Yeah, I just have. That's where the 9 came from.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you have 2 successes then? I can't see your dice so well. 3? Okay. So, okay, this is the deal. You both compose yourself fine. That is absolutely, possibly the worst you have ever smelled in your entire life for about 3 seconds. It is acrid. It gets into your sinuses like, oh my God, wow. But you manage to keep yourself kind of pulled together, as does he.
Yeah, the thing is, it's going to be very hard for him to tell if her eyes are watering.
Yeah, exactly. You have more rainbow down your face right now.
Yeah, but telling if that's normal or not is going to be tricky.
He'll just shake his head like, this isn't okay. I need an adult.
And then presumably the smell will change.
Yeah, the smell will basically, because this one is rotten, it still smells pretty strong, but not nearly as badly. So it can be at least disposed of without killing everybody in the court, apparently.
Yeah.
But the plate's done. It's like that. It's God. There's no Jesus couldn't save it. Okay, like it's gone.
Yep.
So he'll bring the trash can over. Like we just have to admit defeat. He'll just shake his head like it's horrible. It's a horrible day, but the Tasselberry has won. Hold on.
Well, maybe we should use the other Tasselberry so it doesn't do the thing.
But first, throw that one away so it can go away.
Oh yes,
Shaking the garbage can, like, end this horror, woman.
Oh, definitely. And she will take the plate out, and throw it straight into the bin.
He'll take that trash bag, and he'll kind of close it up.
You know,
he'll take that.
He probably didn't think of because she's not used to trash bags.
The plate's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was about to say. When he lifted it up.
He's the one that shook the bin at her. She doesn't know about this trash bag thing, so she just put the plate in the bin, like he seemed to be suggesting.
Yeah, when he basically when he goes to pull it out, the bag breaks.
Yeah.
But fortunately, it all falls back into the trash bin. That's the fortunate part.
Yeah.
And he just kind of looks at her like it wins.
She's gonna blink.
It wins.
Because she's
give up. I surrender. He'll pull the hard plastic liner from the bin out. He'll go to the outside trash dumpster, dump the whole mess in there, and then come back and drop the bin back in, like the liner.
Yep. That seems reasonable. While he's gone, are there recipe books around here?
There are.
Can I try and research a pastry recipe using
There's
something?
actually a book on pastry.
So, can I use intelligence academics and try and research this? And I do have a specialty in research, so yeah, she's going to try and find 3 successes. Yeah, 3 successes. She's going to try and find a suitable recipe for making the berry into mini pies.
Okay. Yeah, she can find a basic dough for if she wants to make mini pies. That's fine. There's a basic dough recipe in there that's good for like galette and like 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 little mince pies, stuff like that.
Yep, that's basically what she's aiming for. But she's also going to need to know what to put with it inside. So that's kind of what she's looking for as well.
Okay. Yeah, there's basically a basic recipe that it's a fruit pie recipe, and it mentions in the fruit pie that it's good for like stab apple, tasselberry, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, she'll pull that out, and because presumably, if it takes a long time for them to walk in, it's probably going to take him a long time for him to go and walk back. So she'll keep an eye on the cake, and while that's happening, she will try her hand at making some pastry.
Okay. It's not terribly difficult. The question is whether your character remembers to use the cold ingredients. When you're making a pastry, you have to use cold butter, cold water, stuff like that. So give me a what?
If it says it in the book, then
yeah, it does say to use cold butter, cold water, stuff like that.
Yep.
I guess make me a Dex Crafts roll.
Okay. I get 8 again on crafts rolls, which is awesome.
Hi.
I'm not going to bother spending glamour for this because then I also get extra stuff for dexterity. But I don't think I need to because that isn't as good. 8 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 5 more dice.
Lord Almighty.
6, 7, 2 more dice. 8, 1 more dice. Yeah, 8.
So when he comes back, you've essentially gotten Julia Childs in the kitchen.
Yep.
And he'll kind of
I am blink.
He'll kind of blink, like dumbfounded, like, wow, you're a quick student.
She'll just kind of shrug. And how long was he gone?
5 minutes or so. It wasn't. The dumpsters are close to the kitchen, so.
Okay.
So about 5 to like 7-ish minutes, that long.
So she's probably finished the pastry, but not started on the filling yet.
Yeah, he'll go in to wash his hands off. And,
for the fun and smelly bit.
So he'll go over to the wash basin and kind of wash his hands off really good because oh god. I hate to say it like this. He takes his thermal off, but he's got a shirt under it, so don't think stripping sexy here.
Yeah.
He'll just kind of toss it onto one of the counters, and he's wearing a black like plain shirt under it. Because there's like went to the trash bin and he had flour all over himself. So yeah. But he'll kind of pull over some stuff. He'll pull over one of the recipe books and kind of start flipping through it. And he said, "You said orange." But, wow, that's how bad that smell was. I forgot I was looking for an orange. And he'll walk back over to the fridge.
If there's some extra, then it might be helpful with the filling.
Okay. He'll kind of fish around in it and he'll say, "Ha! I found 2." And he'll kind of pull them out and juggle them, actually. He's the thing is that he's actually fairly good at this, actually, the juggling.
Yeah.
Kind of, and he'll actually switch to doing it with two hands, like one-handed with two oranges.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll kind of set them in front of her with a little smile.
Thank you. And some raisins.
Sultana's okay.
They should be.
Yeah, he'll kind of dig in the pantry part, and like I always have to find these
spare brown
kids.
sugar. She's gonna get some of the spare brown sugar and some of the orange juice and a little bit of the. She's basically gonna make very pulpy juice by basically squishing the inside of the orange.
Yeah, he pulls out some confection sugar, and
yeah, this isn't for the cake.
Yeah, what he's doing is for the cake. So he'll steal a little bit of her orange and a little bit of the orange juice that's in the fridge. There's some orange juice too.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll pull over a bowl and start making a glaze for the cake itself.
And then she'll start chopping the sultanas roughly into quarters, just so that they're nice and small.
Okay.
And she'll mix those in. And other than that, it's probably just going to be the berry, and then into the pie, and cover up very quickly.
Yeah, the berry essentially has a very it's got the aroma is so pungent, and its consistency. It has an extremely thick, tough skin. Somebody basically cut out like a wedge of it, and it's like this gray and then charcoal kind of speckled berry, basically goblin fruit, and it's about the size of like an eggplant. And it has like kind of like the little seeds, like it actually is very similar to an eggplant. A mortal, if they came across it, would probably like be like, look at this eggplant. But the
well, they'd probably be more like, look at this rotten eggplant.
Yeah, exactly. The core of it, the center of it, is almost kind of like a little bit of a thick custardy. You know what I mean? And with a kind of a fibrous core. And it's that thick, pulpy that is the culprit of the insane smell. But it's not. It's thin enough that it could be cut. You know, it's like a kiwi almost. You know, like the consistency of a kiwi.
Okay. See,
how you can kind of squish it very easy.
But yes.
Huh?
When you were describing it with the fibrousness, I was imagining pumpkin. But yes, kiwi works too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that squishiness of a kiwi with like the core, but it holds together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he basically just kind of he's
going to get the pastry ready before she takes the bowl off the fruit.
He'll smile at her while he's doing that. The smell, basically, it's one of those things where after a while you kind of get used to the smell. So it's kind of worn off, it being so bad.
Yeah, especially with how bad it was with the other thing.
Yeah, that kind of it's kind of like, oh, now it smells good.
Yeah.
It was rotten. But he'll actually ask her if she can toss him a few of the seeds, because as much as he hates it, it's still, you know, a goblin fruit that he can plant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if she finds some seeds, she'll kind of put them to one side in a cup of water, because that way they keep smelling. Yeah, and so she's going to prepare the pastry tops first, ready to go on. And then she's going to add the fruit into her mixture, mix it all together, scoop it all out, and start putting the tops on straight away.
So as she's doing that, he's kind of stirring the glaze for the cake, and he'll kind of shift into more conversation at this point, and he'll say, "So did you hear the news?"
Which news. I mean, I asked about why the spring and the winter courts were fighting, and it was a party clash.
Party clash is, I kind of smile as though that was a funny way to word it. Party clash is essentially what it boils down to, and yet no one will accept that that's basically what it is.
So I spoke to a party planner and suggested he might want to see about trying to sort that out.
Oh.
His name's Charlemagne. He's a troll.
You went robot-y, by the way, for a moment.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know if it's you or me.
Yeah, she went. His name's Charlemagne. He's a troll.
Charlemagne is working on the party for the princess right now.
She's going to flinch slightly, which kind of pokes a hole in one of the pastry lids.
Actually, do me a favor. Do me a really quick favor. Actually, hold on. Give me 1 second. Yes, thank God. Okay. Back that up for me. He says what he'll say is actually he's the one planning the party for, and he stops and he says, Bella.
He told me.
He'll say
but hopefully he can kind of work on the one in December as well.
If we have a December with the champion of the Winter Court being it's a bit unprecedented for the champion of a court to become a fugitive, and I'm not sure if the champion can be changed. Not without. The unique situation is that the champion of the court for the winter is, so the champion of the autumn court would technically be the one to hunt him down and to bring him in. But if he does that, will the Weird accept that as the challenge and start the shifting of the seasons?
But if the autumn court wins, then it's another 2 weeks anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So we just have to
make a month out.
Yeah, so we just have to make sure that in 2 weeks' time, the autumn court wins again, and then 2 weeks after that, have the winter court win.
That's true.
The problem would be if the winter won.
That would be a problem, and I'm not going to lie. In this situation, I think Eric would have the upper hand, and I do believe he would evade the autumn courtier, the Paladin of Shadows. He's, in my opinion, if he doesn't want to be found, he's not going to be found. The only problem is that Malik has gone with him, and I worry for my sportsman.
Isn't he supposed to be organizing the winter party or something?
He'll nod. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not helpful.
Well, look, I don't want to get involved, okay? Because I was kind of the target. But he'll kind of for a moment, he'll kind of hesitate. And he'll say, why would Duraven first off attempt to assassinate an important member of the Spring Court and then begin dating one? Moreover, then all but save my life the next day.
Wait, is Eric Draven? Because you said Eric before. And then you said Draven.
Well,
And
Eric is his first name.
Okay. Yes,
Eric is his first name. DeRaven, like Derai, and he'll kind of like go over it like he's trying to spell it in his head and get it out. Is his last name. People call him Draven because I don't know. It makes sense.
Well,
Draven.
More sense as to why Malik would go with him. But yes, it really doesn't make sense that he would have come and helped if he was the one that killed you. Do we know why?
Why?
Because I mean, if say they asked who has your blood on his hands, well, he was kind of patching you up. So
Yeah, I'm fully aware of the fact that if he wanted to kill me, he could have killed me then.
yeah, but what I mean is, depending on what was asked and what was said and so forth, I mean, helping patch someone up, you're quite likely to get blood on your hands doing that if you put the needle thing in slightly wrong or something. And then if they asked who's had Claudio's blood on them, then it would show it was him.
That's a really good point. I wonder if Summer has considered that. I don't know what their proof is.
But
kind of
you're Spring Court and he's Winter Court, so why is Summer adjudicating when Autumn is currently in charge? I know Summer is responsible for bringing people in and for maintaining order, but surely they shouldn't be in charge of the trial.
That is where things have sometimes gotten difficult with the politics of the Summer Court. Can you pass me that vanilla? I'll kind of look over at the vanilla, reminding her that they're still cooking.
Yep. And she'll pass it over.
He'll put a couple of sprinkles into the glaze he's working on. Not very many.
And she's kind of pinching leftover bits of pastry into various patterned things on the top of the pie, because she's seen patterned things on top of pies before.
He's smiling at her while she's doing that. I don't know. To be honest, I'm not saying I think that I should stay out of it. I just think that I'm too close to it, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not saying you should be involved. I'm just saying, why is Summer deciding this?
He'll kind of sit and he'll just kind of... Well, so far, all it seems like they've done is called the hunt, which, I mean, he'll kind of shrug, I guess falls in their jurisdiction.
As long as it doesn't involve them killing him before he's brought in.
Do you think it's a risk?
Well,
yeah, he'll kind of, yeah, he'll nod. Well, that was with one of their own courtiers, though. Will they do that to another court's courtiers?
I don't know, especially given the fact that they seemed a bit kind of tense about Autumn taking over on that front. Even if she did back up Summer's ruling.
This is such a mess. Oh. He'll kind of rub his face. When he rubs his face, he gets a little bit of powdered sugar on it.
I just think if someone is running, And we've all had to run before. If someone is running, we should take them someplace safe and then find the truth before deciding what to do.
So you think the Spring Court should offer him sanctuary?
I think he should turn himself into the Autumn Court.
As a note, by the way, you realize that your character is in the presence of the person who can make that call. If Claudio has enough control over the king that if she right now says something should happen and he agrees, it'll probably happen.
Yeah, but yeah, her response will be, I think he should turn himself into the Autumn Court.
Well,
but
it looks like he's not doing that.
But I can't control what he does. I can only control what I do.
If we were to offer him open sanctuary, an asylum, it could fuel tension with the Summer Court.
I don't think open is the way to go. Much as it would probably help with winter. As you're right, it would fuel problems with summer. Perhaps more custody. If he were to give himself into the custody of the Spring Court awaiting trial, rather than sanctuary. It's a subtle difference, but an important one, I think, because if you offer him sanctuary and he is found guilty, you're in a very difficult position.
The question is, which I have no control over.
Sorry,
it could be a very real possibility.
You kind of cut out there. Just with
the he said the question is whether he's already been found guilty, even if he is or isn't.
The Summer Court can't make those kind of judgments over other courts. When it was their own court member, then that seems fair, but especially given the severity of his crimes. But when it is a member of another court, it cannot simply always be the Summer Court's say. Or they could kill anyone at any time and simply say, we have the proof, without having to answer to anyone.
Oh, Liam. Can I tell you, kind of leaning on his elbows with the glaze done?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it's a good idea for the Morch to be the Summer Court king. I think that he'll kind of be very thoughtful and kind of tilt his head. I think it's causing conflict, you know?
Yes. Also, I think given the current tensions between winter and summer, it is quite possible, between winter and spring, rather, it is quite possible someone might seek to make things worse by coming forward with suspect evidence about a winter court member.
Who benefits? What's the motivation?
Who benefits from wrath?
The summer court, or
And of course, it could be someone from the spring court who wants the winter court to suffer, especially with it being their champion.
blink and think for a moment.
If the champion was to end up fighting early, if the transition was to happen early, it wouldn't conflict with the homecoming.
That's true.
So there are motives for summer, there are motives for spring, there are motives for winter as well, because it could be a personal grudge wanting to remove him as an individual, or to attempt to bring winter about early, or to test his allegiances to winter over his partner in spring.
That would be that would be quite a test of love. I'll kind of chuckle.
As I said, it could also be to bring winter about sooner, or to remove a rival for position and influence within the court. I can't see any reasons for Autumn to be involved, but I don't know him well enough to know if he has any personal enemies there.
He is,
but it is
he served in the Autumn Court. He's one of the Dread Esquires. So I don't think it's the Autumn Court is the least to involve themselves. Oh,
as I said, this is why I think, especially as the ruling court and the most impartial, Autumn is the only one that could be considered a fair judge in this matter, I think.
I can definitely agree with you.
And if spring was to back that, and winter was to back that, I doubt that summer would be able to force the matter, unless they physically found him first and took matters into their own hands, which I would not put past them, but would be something that none of us could control anyway.
So you're saying that the king should give a official statement that he believes that this needs to be handled by the Autumn,
by the ruling court. As much as I think Autumn is the best choice, no matter whether they are ruling or not, saying that it should be Autumn because they are the ruling court is less likely to anger the summer.
It would possibly add some salve to this tension between us and the winter if we supported their man.
Not so much supporting their man as supporting the truth.
Justice.
As I said, there should be a trial. If there is reasons, then they can be heard. But spring shouldn't offer sanctuary. Just offer to hold him in custody until the trial.
What if people see it as a play by spring to get him into our sanctuary to do something to him, to bring him harm?
Suggest that all of the courts make that offer, and he can choose which one he goes to find that custody and safekeeping.
Well, will the Winter be able to offer that custody? Going to his own people would, I think, be considered scandal and suspect.
Perhaps not them, but if the suggestion was made that as the wronged party, you should be able to have a say in the security matters to prevent his escape, or that the Autumn Court do the same, as they will be holding the trial. They'll be closer to they'll be able to handle it more easily. Either of them there is an argument for. The main thing is to give him the opportunity to turn himself in, and then it is up to him if he takes it.
He'll kind of reach into his pocket, and he'll pull out a pocket square, and he'll walk over to your character and kind of gently wipe her nose, and he'll say, "It's a little bit hard to carry on a very serious conversation with you with a white nose."
She shrugs. White is just another color.
It is, but it's distracting. He had a very gentle touch, by the way.
Yep.
And he'll kind of snap his pocket square off, snapping the flower off and put it back into his pocket. Leaning against the counter again. Is our cake done yet? I'll kind of look over at the oven like...
She'll kind of sniff slightly. Almost?
The timer will beep for it.
Yeah. And she'll kind of open the oven and use a oven mitt to slide it out a bit.
He'll stick the toothpick in it to see if it's done or not. Kind of smile. And he'll grab the plate. Well, he'll tell you it needs to rest for a minute, so he'll put it on the counter.
Mm-hmm. Spring is the wronged party. They could claim the right to hold him until the trial.
That is true.
If the others will agree or not, I don't know. But if he turns himself in, it will go easier, I think.
That requires him being found and convinced, probably. Do you think you could find him? Or Malik? Maybe Malik could convince him.
They seemed friendly with Azure. She might know how to contact them.
Would you mind contacting her to speak of the matter?
Well, I could, but I rather think the best way to go about it might be to discuss with the king about the whole custody situation. Decide what's going on there, and if he makes an announcement, perhaps someone, one of us or someone else, could suggest to Azure that she might, if she happens to know how to contact Draven or Malik, it might be helpful if they knew about it.
Hold on.
Because making this suggestion to them without a safe place to go to is, well, it would probably be difficult for them to take it as well as if the place was already available.
That, and they'd have to get here without the summer waylaying them.
Yes.
With the summer actively hunting them, I'm sure that if they pop their head up to go to ground, especially if the summer were expecting them, just because we offer them sanctuary doesn't mean that between point A and point B to the freehold they couldn't be captured. And if Malik is considered to be aiding and abetting a known fugitive, I think he's going right up there on the block with Draven.
Yes, but it may be pertinent if someone mentioned to Azure a lesser known goblin market that some senior Spring Court officials might happen to be planning to frequent in the near future.
He'll grin at her, kind of softly chuckle. It's a good point.
It would be harder for the Summer Court to justify attacking him and Malik if there are senior Spring courtiers there bringing him into custody.
That is true.
If they could even find some of the goblin markets.
Well, does the senior Spring courtier have to do that? Or can somebody else who knows the goblin markets very well, I don't know who, possibly handle it? Kind of smiling down at her sweetly.
As you said, the issue is getting between A and B. If the Spring Court has offered custody, should he come in of his own free will, the Summer Court will be expecting him to show here. If some of the Spring courtiers who could take him into custody, and it wouldn't have to be you, it would probably be better if it was some of the more martial members of the court. But if some people who would be capable of taking him into custody were there, they would be able to get him from the goblin market to the Spring Court.
He'll nod.
Of course, the Summer courtiers would be looking for him to show up here, not at the market.
Admittedly, the senior Spring courtier, it seems extremely impressed with her acumen. I'll kind of smile at her again. That will have to be very carefully orchestrated, but I think you have a very good point.
Simply for the purpose of showing them there and helping them find the market. Certainly you or I would probably be best suited, but to actually take him into custody and escort him back here, that's...
Well, the Clavigers would have to do that.
Precisely. And if we were to make sure that they were there.
As a member of the Autumn Court could be involved because he does serve the Autumn. He is a Dread Esquire. That does, although not a member of the Autumn Court himself, that does put him in the Autumn Courtier's protection. Sure. I'm not saying you have to do it, but someone else might be able to aid in the process. Getting to I'm not sure someone wouldn't take Malik to get him to surrender himself. So Malik is as much a security issue in this as Draven is.
She'll nod. But if Malik were to be with his friends and to go with you to the Spring Court, do you think that they would try and take him? He may have to stay here at the Spring Court much as Draven does, but
and that still doesn't even leave. That still doesn't even answer who did. It wasn't Draven. If it wasn't him, who did it? Someone shot him. That's without question. But whom? And for what purpose? He'll just shake his head and rub his face.
that is a serious issue.
I can't think of anyone. I have rivals and adversaries, but not who would attempt to assassinate me.
Assuming, of course, they were attempting to assassinate you.
Well, he'll kind of scratch his head and he's like, I think being shot is a. So you're saying they probably weren't? He'll blink at her like.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying that they probably weren't. They probably were, but assuming that they were, and using that to rule people out.
He is going to reach his hands out, and his fingers will connect with her belly, and he'll tickle her for that one.
Yeah, that's going to end up with flour on the face. Yeah.
He'll kind of
a handful of flour and
flour.
Yeah.
He'll return flour for that one.
Yep. And for the next 5 minutes, there'll probably be something of a food war going on.
There's a food war and a flour fight going on.
Yep.
And he'll wrap his arms around her waist like from behind, but not like. Again, it's a friendly gesture for now, to be blunt. But he'll kind of relax her. He'll kind of say, "We're cooking. Let's not. They're never gonna let us in the kitchen again if we don't stop." He'll kind of set her down and let her go.
You started it.
And I finished it.
And just for that, she is going to smush one of the mince pies that she hasn't actually put in the oven yet on his nose.
Oh my God! Oh no! That's low.
It's horrible. But if he's gonna take that attitude,
we'll just pull back like, oh, come on! Oh, that was
down and hand him a tea towel.
Oh, as her hand is stretched out, he'll kind of smudge some of the stuff off of his nose, and then just boop right under her nose, like on her lip, just like, you share this agony with me now.
Yeah, she's just gonna lick it off.
Oh, how can you? How? It's like people who eat stuff that's culinary in other parts of the world and Epicurean, but no. Oh,
she's gonna eat it because it's food.
I can appreciate so many different cuisines
and that way
cultures.
That way
it's so good, but
yeah, she's just gonna eat it because it's fruit and stuff.
There's no explaining you Autumn Court members. He'll just shake his head. He's probably one of those people that's sensitive to the smell. It really does strike you as one of those things where you either think it smells like hell warmed over, or it smells amazing. And to you, it's probably that mixture of, at first, it's kind of like, oh, but then it's like, oh, that's nice. It smells like potpourri.
If it's food and it's worth eating, then it will be worth eating now. And then
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
under her nose.
He'll take his tea towel again and kind of wipe his pocket square and kind of wipe her nose again.
Uh-huh.
And then he's like, he'll realize he wiped it with his pocket square, and then he's like, oh, why did I do that? Why did I do that? We'll just put it down and stroke it as though he misses it already, because it's going away now.
Yeah. And now I ended it.
You wicked woman. Come on, let's finish cooking.
Yeah. So carry on with cooking.
They will carry on with cooking and apparently trying their very best to get banished from the kitchens. And
no. That she stops now. It's because he said that he ended it. She basically said, "You started it," and he's like, "Yep, and I ended it." And she's like,
he will acquiesce that one to her. He's a game player. He knows when he's done.
Yeah,
it is over. He is not escalating this war.
If you just said yes, I did, but I'm kind of giving in now, that would have been fine. But if he picked her up to stop her and then basically goes, "Yep, I stopped it."
It was the most beautiful neg, though, and it led to amazingness. So,
yeah.
Yes. I think with that, we can probably end the scene, right?
Probably, yeah. I mean, they've discussed great big plans for the spring court and so forth.
And covered each other in flour.
And half the kitchen.
So, yes. Thank you, players, for playing. Go, say it.
And made a great big tray of fruit, of fruit tart like pie things, and cake.
Yep. I imagine all of that will be shared with the court.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you, players, for playing, and thank you, watchers, for watching. And this has been another scene. Bye.